Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, or if you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Amy, and today we're making some more delicious sides for your Thanksgiving this year. This week it's all about the stuffing, and just like with pillows, the more stuffing the better. We'll be making our classic, tasty, and traditional style stuffing, and then we're gonna throw caution to the wind and make some cheesy herb stuffing that may as well be the stuffing version of mac and cheese. So let's get cooking. Now, before we make any stuffing at all, we need bread cubes. A lot of grocery stores will carry dried bread cubes in the run-up to Thanksgiving, but I want to make my own out of some sourdough bread. There are a couple ways to do this, but either way, we start by chopping our bread into little pieces. You can go as small as roughly half-inch squares, but I'm going with some slightly bigger pieces, about an inch maybe. When the bread is all chopped up, you can either let it sit out in a safe place for a day or two, or you can use the oven to make this go way faster. Preheat the oven to 300 degrees Fahrenheit and put the bread pieces on parchment-lined baking sheets in a layer. It's good to leave a little bit of space, but you really don't need much. These will lose some size as they dry, so you'll end up with plenty of space on the sheet for them to breathe. Pop them in the oven for 10 minutes, then pull them out, stir them up, flip them over, whatever, and then pop them back in the oven for another 10 minutes. Pull them out again and then check them to see if they're fully dry or if they still have some moisture in them. They will crack and break or mash into breadcrumbs if they're done, but if not, they'll still be a little squishy and bendy. If they're not quite done, pop them back in the oven for another 5 minutes and then check them again. Mine took 25 minutes for the bread to get nice and dry. When they're done, remove the bread from the baking sheet and set them to the side to cool for a few minutes. Then just pop them back in the bag the bread came from if you plan to use them within a couple of days. If you plan to store them for a bit, put them in an airtight container and you can store these in the freezer for up to a year. Okay, now we have lots of dry bread cubes, so let's get started on making our beautiful traditional stuffing. First, preheat the oven to 350 Fahrenheit, and for the rest, we always start with the prep. So we'll need to dice up 2 stalks of celery, and we want this to be pretty finely diced so we don't end up with huge celery chunks in the stuffing. We also need a 1/4 cup of diced onion, cut about the same size as the celery, but I already had some diced onion left over in the fridge. Last, for the chopping, we need to mince 1 clove of garlic or measure out a ½ teaspoon of the pre-minced or crushed garlic. Next, I'm weighing out 6 ounces of breadcrumbs. This comes to about 2 cups, but if you have a scale, I do recommend weighing out the bread so you have the right consistency to the stuffing. If you have too much bread, the stuffing will be really dry, and too little would make the stuffing stay way too mushy. Alright, to the stove. In a medium saucepan, add 1 tablespoon of butter and melt it over medium heat. When the butter is all melted and bubbly, add in the diced onion and the celery and saute this until it starts to soften. You want to stir this pretty often so they don't stick or get too brown. It should take about maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Add the garlic and stir continuously for about 30 seconds and then pull this off the heat right away so the garlic doesn't burn. Trust me, you really don't want to smell or taste burnt garlic. It's really bad. Now over to a big bowl. Dump in the 6 ounces of breadcrumbs and the seasonings, which are the usual suspects: parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. And I bet you were singing it in your head just like I was. You want a ½ teaspoon of parsley and a 1/4 teaspoon each of all the rest. Add a good pinch of salt, about a 1/4 teaspoon, and an 1/8 teaspoon of black pepper, although I just did that one by eye. Pour in our lovely sauteed vegetables, 1 beaten whisked up egg, and a ½ cup of chicken or vegetable broth. Now fold this all together until everything's nicely combined and the bread has soaked up that liquid, but be a little gentle with it so we don't end up with bread crumbs instead of bread cubes. Spray a 2-quart or an 8x8 baking dish with some oil and pour in all of our yummy stuffing mixture. Smooth everything out as best you can so things cook evenly and we don't have big old air pockets in our stuffing. Then cover this with some foil. Bake this covered for 20 minutes at that 350 Fahrenheit. At 20 minutes, remove the foil and then put it back in the oven again for another 25 minutes or until the tops of the bread cubes are starting to get nice and golden. And our traditional stuffing is done. This tastes perfect. It's like stovetop, but way, way better. It has a beautiful balance of soft bread cubes underneath with that crispy top. The flavor, it's just exquisite. Those herbs were born to go together. The celery, the onions, they're nice and soft, but they're not mushy. This is just fabulous. Now to our cheesy stuffing, which is probably the easiest stuffing I've ever made in my life. No stovetop cooking, no choppy veggie prep, and if you use pre-shredded cheese on this, no prep at all. In our big bowl, weigh out 9 to 10 ounces of bread cubes, which is about 3 to 3.5 cups. Add 2 beaten, whisked up eggs, 1 cup of chicken or vegetable broth, and a ½ cup of melted butter. Yup, a whole stick. Hey, it's Thanksgiving, so cheat day. For the seasonings, we want a teaspoon of onion powder, a ½ teaspoon of parsley, a little pinch each of thyme and sage, a good sized pinch of salt, and a little black pepper to taste. Last, we're going to add our cheese. I'm using sharp cheddar, and if you shred up your own, you need a full 8-ounce block shredded up, which is about 2 cups if you're using pre-shredded. Put about 3/4 of this in the bowl and save the rest for later. Now fold this all together just like we did with the traditional stuffing till everything is combined and the bread has soaked up all that liquid. So we need another 2-quart baking dish, but I only have one, and it's currently cooking our other stuffing. I do have a metal baking dish, but this can get overdone in a metal pan because metal actually conducts heat a little too well for stuffing. But ceramic will work almost exactly like that glass dish, so I'm going to use a cute 9-inch ceramic pie dish for this one. We'll spray this just like the other one and pour in our cheesy stuffing mix. Smooth it out and pop this right in the 350-degree oven just like this for 20 minutes, no cover needed. After 20 minutes, pull it out and sprinkle the rest of that cheese on top. Pop it back in the oven for 10 minutes and our cheese stuffing is done. See, this is the easiest stuffing in the world. And like I said earlier, it's like eating mac and cheese, but it's stuffing. It's fabulous. The herbs are perfect. It's cheesy. It's soft in the middle. It's got that lovely crispy cheesy crust on top. It's ridiculous how good this is. Here are both of our stuffings. These are both absolutely delicious. Soft on the inside, crispy on top, just like baked stuffing should be. The classic flavors of the season, that cheesy twist. These are both the ultimate additions to your Thanksgiving table. But they are really, really filling, so make sure to eat some turkey first, or you may end up filling up on stuffing before you even get to the bird, let alone making it to the pie. So we made a fabulous dinner spread with both of these stuffings. 1 roast chicken and some garlic parmesan asparagus later, and it may as well have been Thanksgiving weeks ahead of schedule. I know, I'm jumping the gun here, but this dinner was legendary. Let me know if you want me to make a video about roasting chicken, because whew, do I have some awesome roast chicken recipes that I can share. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please like and subscribe and leave me a comment. Maybe let me know your favorite twist on stuffing or any other Thanksgiving dishes. I love all of them. Come and hang out with me on Sundays for some cozy home cooking, and this week is going to be special because we're going to be making slow cooker recipes. It's going to be awesome. Stay tuned next Wednesday too for the next round of Thanksgiving sides because we're tackling potatoes. So many potatoes, and it just wouldn't be Thanksgiving dinner without them. I hope you have a fabulous week, and now I'm stuffed, so I'm gonna go roll myself into the living room and watch a cheesy Christmas rom-com. Bye.